What episode are we?
30.
Whoa. 25's Monday.
Yeah.
We have 4 others recorded?
Yeah.
So you're 5 weeks out.
Well, it'll be worth the wait. Well, I have another exciting new product that I'm going to show you, and I'm not even going to prep you for it. You're just going to see it live.
Well, good. We'll tear it apart right on live TV.
Yeah, it will.
Live TV. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 30 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. Appreciate you guys joining us. We've been here way too long already at this point. I didn't think we were going to make it past 10, so now we're made it to 30. But appreciate you guys. We've gotten a lot of support. This was like, as I was just telling them, 5 weeks ago now that you're hearing this. Yesterday, as of recording this, we hit YouTube partner. So we finally hit the goals we were looking for. So appreciate you guys that all have been watching on YouTube. Keep doing that because there is another tier that we still have to hit that's probably going to take us through the rest of the year, but we appreciate you guys. So joining me, you can see him sitting next to me in the video, Rick Hatton from Banner Ups by Budnick. We appreciate you coming on, traveling out for the podcast. And thanks for being here.
Fantastic. Good to be here. Glad. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I really wanted him sitting next to me so I'd look younger, but he decided to sit over there. I really wanted him in the same camera as me, so I look way younger.
There's nothing that'll make you look younger, Mike.
I look probably 31, 32.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Customer.
Yeah. Customer's always right, Rick. You disagree.
Yes. Yeah. He says, yes, can you send me a PO, please?
Yeah, you can. I look 30, right? Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So we start these kind of always the same. So if you want to just do an intro, who are you? How long you been in the industry and kind of what you're doing now?
Sure. So I'm, as you mentioned, I'm Rick Hatton. I'm with Banner Ups by Budnick. And so been in the industry for, 35 years, something like that. If you guys have time, I'd like to tell you the story how the whole product line started. It's a great story, and I love to tell it. I always tell people ask me where did Banner Ups come from? Who invented that concept and everything? I was a rep in like Judy. I came.
Wait, before you start, you got to talk. What's your family? Who's married? Kids?
Yeah.
Where you live? That kind of stuff.
I'm married to my wife Linda. We've had 36 anniversaries, and she's sticking with me so far. So I'm going to hopefully keep that up. I got 4 adult children, 8 grandchildren, and so our kids are all grown. They're in a great place, right? Because they're off the payroll. They're on their own. They're doing good. They got partners. And so we're in a real good stage of life right now. But keep them busy. My wife and I don't know how to say no to anything. So we're constantly swamped. But yeah, that's obviously the most important thing in my life is, my wife and kids and grandkids. So our business was a family business, just like Judy. I went into this business with my father. He was a manufacturer's rep. We represented Herculite Bantex. Does that ring a bell with you? It was a banner print media, one of the first. And I had a customer in Akron, Copley, Ohio, Creative Screen Print. That was a good customer. And I walked in to see him one day, and he showed me this little tab that he had invented. At the time, DuPont had come out with Tyvek for the first time to sell that into the banner market. Great product, prints great, very strong, very lightweight. Only one problem. When you sew it, which is the way most people were finishing banners, it tears like notebook paper. So DuPont had invented this complex corner guard system, they called it. It was very over-engineered. And my customer just looked at it and said, hey, there's got to be a better way than this. And so he came up with the original idea of, kind of a die cut. It wasn't exactly like this. It was much simpler, a die cut thing with foam tape on it. And I walked in, and I always tell people it's like a gift from God. I walk in one day, he throws this thing on the desk, say, hey, I got this idea for a product. You think this would sell? And I immediately looked at it and said, yeah, this has definitely got a future. I think I could sell these. He had tried to sell them to little places around him, but never really got anywhere with it. So Wensco was actually one of the first companies that I showed the product to and that took the product on. So we literally go back all that way. And since that time, we have sold somewhere between 75 and 100 million of these tabs. If you lined up all the tabs and banner tape that we've sold in the time since that, which probably around 1990, that would stretch, we figured it out once, it would stretch from Wellington, Ohio, where our company was founded, to Wellington, New Zealand. And probably we're on the way back by now.
Jeez.
So, and I always tell people the main thing is it works, right? It may be a new concept to you, but we wouldn't have sold that many if it didn't work. And so, so that's kind of the genesis. And then 5 years ago, our company was acquired by Budnick Converting. So now we're part of Budnick Converting in Columbia, Illinois, which gives us a tremendous amount of bandwidth because they're one of the largest converters of tape and adhesives in the industry. They were actually a supplier to us. So that's kind of where we came from, where I come from, and where the products and where our company came from. So
that's kind of crazy that it just started as a guy like, okay, there's got to be an easier way to do this, right? I feel like that's like Signman ingenuity at its finest right there. It was like, this can't be the best way, right? There's no way. So I feel like people probably thought that forever when they were hemming banners.
Yeah.
Like people be like, this can't be the best way to do this, right? This seems horribly inefficient. You gotta print
I look
turn
at
it
it
out, sew it.
Yeah. There's other uses for it that you haven't even touched. Like I use that exact tab for like when I'm hiking, because when you're hiking and you want to bring like a bag of chips, like there's no way to attach that chip to your backpack. However, you can that will stick to your chip bag, and then you put your little D-ring in it, and you can attach it to your bag.
We have not. Even,
I mean,
haven't even explored that market. And now, are you talking about the bag of chips or individual chips?
No, like a bag of chips. So you want to bring a bag of chips or a bag of popcorn that you buy in the store,
right, and
you want to attach it to your bag. Like you either have to put it in and smash them all, or you attach that to each side of it, and then you have a clip on your bag of a bag of chips. So
you don't smash the chips.
So you don't smash the chips. They're riding on the back. They're riding on the outside of your pack.
Yeah. No, there's tons of applications for it. And I wanted to mention, too, I forgot to mention. So he gave this product to us on a handshake deal. I mean, no contract or anything. We patented it. We trademarked it. And we just started sending them commission checks, and just on a handshake deal. And that went on for 25 years until we sold the business. So, great. But, we'll look into that chip market.
That's an REI product if I ever saw one.
We might be able to get investors if we said we were moving into the chip market.
Yeah. I mean, Tristan.
They're probably thinking Intel, but we're going a little lower than that.
Yeah. Into the hiking market too, though. It could be big.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, that's $18 if you sell it at REI. Your chip bag's only $2, but it's $18 if it's REI.
Because it's an REI product. Yeah. It's all about the name. So the product we're talking about, just so people that are not on the video version, when you held it up and showed them, can you just explain what the tabs are and kind of what their main thing they're trying to replace is?
Absolutely. So the basic idea for the product is a way to take the place of grommets, and just a simpler, easier way to finish banners that's much stronger and creates time savings. And so obviously if you're not on the video version, you might not be able to appreciate this as much, but I'm going to challenge Mike Hull here to a little strength contest.
I hope we don't knock over the mics in the process.
Yeah, probably will, but that's all right. So we always show people this little...
He's got a slide. Rick's giving us direction. He wants to be on this microphone.
Oh, you want me to go this way? All right. So,
all right. If you're not on the video, version, Rick has a little tab in his hand. One has the banner tab on one side.
I'll tell you what. We're just gonna tear this. I'll tear it with one person. It'll be
Come
easier.
on,
I'm gonna get you involved.
You can pull on me.
Don't worry.
I ain't budging.
I'm gonna get you involved. I promise you. All right. So this is a grommet. This is our pressure-sensitive adhesive tab. I know that you probably can't hear me. Give him the mic. Yeah. So this is the grommet. There.
Oh yeah, just like this is TV.
There we go. So here's a grommet on one end, 13 ounce one side. Here's the peel and stick adhesive tab, right? That's on the other. Takes the place of the grommet. When people think this is a metal grommet, it's so much stronger. But when you actually put wind tension on it, it rips right out. Okay. And this is obviously the tab didn't rip out. You've probably seen banners flying around like this. But Mike, here's the thing. I really would like to put some money in your pocket. If you can tear that out, okay? If you can tear it out, I'll give you $1.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Listen,
That guy's a moose.
yeah, I tore it out. For the people not listening, he owes me $1, but not most people are going to do that.
You just
see how hard
let me
he pulled on it.
quantify what you just put about 130, 140 pounds of stress on it. The grommet rips out at about 30. All right,
We're gonna switch back.
to you.
So for you anyone that was on audio, what just happened? He has a tab. One has the banner tab on one side, one has a grommet on the other side, and then you just pull on it equally on both sides, and the grommet
always rips out.
The grommet rips very quickly.
Yeah, we've demoed thousands of these now in the grommet. I don't think we've ever had the grommet not rip out. Way easier. Like the amount of pressure you had to put to rip out the tab is unreal. Like that's
a lot.
That's Hurricane Debbie type stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's about 4 times the strength of the grommet. So number one, people use it because it's much, much stronger. Number two, and this is the real reason people use it, is because it's a time saver. And anything that saves time, it's also a money saver. So it's used in combination with another product that we invented, in the past called power tape. So most customers are used to, they know that they can't just put a grommet into a 13-ounce banner. They have to reinforce it. So what do? They reinforce with double-sided tape, and they make a hem, or they do it with welding, or they do it with sewing or something like that. But you have to fold that over to double the material, get the extra strength, right? What if you didn't have to do that? So we came up with this power tape, which is a single-sided tape, right? Not a double-sided. It's got adhesive only on one side, but it's made of a real super strong film here. There's the audio of it trying to be torn. And it's comes in white and clear. All right. So the idea is no more folding. This is made of a film that's as strong as the banner media itself. So you just lay it down, and this is a little piece that has it. You put the tabs down first, then you just lay this along the top and bottom edge, punch a hole through, and it's,
That's your camera over there.
Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just strip that down. So the idea is no grommeting. I mean, just think of most people use grommets. They hate it, right? You got this big honking machine that you have to haul around to 8-10 different locations after you've spent 10 minutes taping the banner. And for a lot of customers, it's hard to press that thing down and get it to fit in, right? So it's a lot of hassle. It's a lot of time. Eliminate the grommeting, eliminate the taping, folding over, and you take it from being a 15-minute process to being a 3-minute process, right? So if you're doing one a month, no big deal, right? But if you're doing 5, 10, 20 in a day, 20 banners you could easily do with the Banner Up system in an hour, right? That means that you have the rest of that day that you work on other jobs, right? You might bill $5,000 or $6,000 worth of jobs or more in the time that you would have been just doing this grommet machine. So that's really the essence of it. We got a lot of different products, but they all come down to pretty much the same concept, which is do more in less time, bill more, do more with less people, the same amount of people. And so that's the heart of it right there.
So the reality is, if you've been making banners and your customer called you back and said, hey, the banner's flapping in the wind, the grommet pulled out, you probably just call us and we'll hook you up with the Banner Up system, and then that customer won't call you back.
Exactly.
Like it'll be done. Like, and we all see it. I mean, obviously when you're in the sign business, you're driving down the street, every time we see a banner flapping, we're like, like that customer's getting a call. Like, and the reality is, hemming is, at the time it was the real deal, and you don't see it much anymore. We don't sell any of those things anymore. Nobody sews them anymore.
Right.
Everybody uses the banner tape to fold it over if they're going to fold it over, but there's a lot of different systems to use besides that. So, and not everybody knows. Like, obviously everybody don't know, because you can drive down the road probably today or go by a ballpark today and you'll see only one side's hooked on.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a fun product to sell, and it's a fun product for customers to use, because if you get a call back from a customer after you start using this product, it's probably going to be, hey, there was this amazing storm that came through, and I'm seeing banners down everywhere, but the ones that I made with the banner ups, they're great. We literally get testimonials like that all the time. It's seriously, the customers call us. They're not just customers; they're like fans once they start using it. And you've got them here at Wensco, because we talk to them at the open houses all the time. So, it's a great product, and of course over time, it's kind of mushroomed into other different applications and different.
The ones they put up in town, because they go all the way across the street, have your system on them, and never see it down, because that can't come down, because it's coming down in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know they use your system, the people that do the ones in town here.
Yeah.
Like they go across the road, and I've never seen it down. It stays up through the wind, stays up through everything. And that's, 30 foot.
Yeah.
Probably. That's a 30-foot banner that's being stretched.
And we have a lot of tips and tricks that we show in videos on our website as to how to, you can amp up the strength according to how much stress you think it's going to be under. So we have different products and different ways of doing that. But I think ultimately the reason people use it is because of the cost savings and the efficiency. It's a productivity. A lot of times customers will ask us, well, what's the difference in cost, between this and a grommet? And I'll tell them right up front, I'll say, this is at least the piece itself, at least going to cost you 3-4 times what a grommet will. We sell millions every year. Why? Because it's not more. It's actually way less. When you figure the labor, not just the labor, at just an ordinary labor rate, you figure you're saving 7-8 minutes a banner. It more than pays for the product. The real savings and the real benefits, productivity. You only have so much time in a day. You only have so much space in the shop, right? If you're going to devote it and take up all your shop space and all of your labor time, doing grommeting banners, as opposed to you print it, you make money on that, you sell it, you make money on that. Finishing, you want to get it done and out, right? Once you get it out, you move on to the next job. And that productivity, you really can't quantify. It's the only thing that prevents you from growing your business is the limited space and labor resources. Yeah,
we've talked about it. We're on episode 30. We've probably talked about it in at least 20 of the episodes. Is just simply time is your most important thing that you have, because if you're saving time building something, you can be out selling something. And if you're spending your whole time building it, you're never going to sell anything. Right. And a lot of the customers you're only a 1 or 2 or 3 man shop. If you spend all your time making all the signs, then you're not out selling anything. And eventually you're not going to have anything to make.
Yeah, exactly. It's a basic thing in business, a basic struggle that every small business goes through, is there are certain things that particularly the owner, only you can do. Only you can create the vision for your business. Only you can actually grow the business and move it into the future. And if you're going to spend your time with a grommet machine, you are losing money every time you do that, right? But you can pay someone, to do finishing, right? So you want to keep that to a minimum and focus your time on the things that only you can do as the driver of the business.
Yeah. The other thing that you haven't talked about, you said the grommet machine is horrible. So to get an idea for the banner ups, you're literally using what is the equivalent of a hole puncher, basically. Right. It might be a little bit more industrial version of a hole puncher, but that's how simple it is. Like, literally when we've done it, it's just, you just punch them through. It's super easy. Versus the whole reason the grommet press is horrible is because you're literally having to bend metal to put those grommets in. That's how it works.
Well, the thing that we don't talk about, and it tends to me more than anything else, because I cramp, genetically problems with cramping, but trying to get the grommet in the grommet machine. Like my hands cramp just trying to keep, and if you do it all day, like especially when you get older, like Rick, like every time you put that up there, your hands want to cramp. Like it's hard. That's something they don't talk about. Like we talk about with squeeze, we talk about a lot of things, but like I cramp every time I'm doing it.
Well, Mike, when you said cramping, I was going to suggest maybe you give up milk products.
All milk products?
Oh, you're not talking about cramping in here. You're talking about your hands cramp? Oh, I thought you had like an intestinal issue.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I think grommets all around are just horrible, though.
Yeah.
Like the
you drop
horrible. I feel like when you have a bag of them and it's got both sides right to it, sometimes I just feel like I keep grabbing a handful and then for some reason all I have is one half every time. I don't know how this works, but it's terrible. Ever since we started using those, I would never go back and do them. I don't even know where our grommet press is that was in this demo room. I haven't seen it in, I don't know, since we grabbed a stack of those and started using them. So,
well, you can look at a lot of products that we do here and how we make them. Like, what do we always use? We always use a rollover. Why? It saves time. We use this system. Why? It saves time. Like when it comes to us, like we're all about time. Like everything we can do, we can be doing something else. So like when we use a product internally instead of a different product, it means we're saving time.
Yeah. Right. We talk about it like this is just in general, but for us, at least specifically at Wensco, but like when we have an option for, multiple different versions of doing the same thing. And when we do it one specific way every single time, there's probably a reason, right? Like when I have this demo room full of equipment and it's like, yeah, I do this on the rollover. I do this on the Roland. I do this on the Vanguard. Why? Those are the easiest ways to do it. That's the whole reason. And so when we have access to everything we do, and when we make a banner here, we use banner up tabs. Why? It's way easier for me. Like I just get them out, you print it. It takes me no time at all to do it. And that's someone who does it, 4 times a year probably has to make a banner, and then still every time it's easy as can be. So.
Yeah. Exactly. You mentioned the hole puncher. I'll just show it for those of you that are watching this. So, yeah, the other thing that you don't realize, and you mentioned you're doing it 3 or 4 times a year as opposed to you're doing it every day or you're doing it every week or you're doing it in batches. One thing about the system, the hole puncher, it's mobile, right? So you just start at one corner and you move around, right? As opposed to the grommet machine, you have to move around. So all those little things are what take time. Another little tip that we show customers is possible with our system that's not possible with any other system, and that is you can do multiple banners at once, right? So you can lay up 3 or 4 banners at a time, stagger them by a couple inches each, put all the tabs on at one side, move over the other side, then strip the tape, the power tape, and then do all the punching. You do all on one side for those 3 or 4 banners, then you walk to the other side of the table, stagger them the other direction, and do the same. So doing it that way, you can do 4 or 5 banners in less than 10 minutes, right? And that's only possible with this system because it's mobile, right? And you can move it around easily. So, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Getting phone
That's
calls.
worse than it going off in church.
Oh, getting phone calls in the middle of the podcast. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much covers the banner ups and the tape. You guys have a double-sided tape as well, correct?
We do, yes. So we have a double-sided version of the clear power tape, which is called Mega Tape. So, and I'll just show it here on the camera. So that's it. You can see it's got the same reinforced film as the clear power tape, but it has adhesive on both sides. So I just talked about how great it was to have a single-sided adhesive. So why would you have a double-sided? So a couple of things. Number one, sometimes customers just want a folded hem. For some reason, they want the look or something. They're used to seeing that. Great. So we have a product, but you also get the strength of power tape. The other reason is that there are certain situations where you want additional strength, right? You got a hurricane coming through, right? With this, you're folding the hem, so you don't have quite the time savings that you have with power tape. But if you think about it now, since you've got a folded hem, you've got at the corner, for instance, you've got 4 layers of media, 2 layers of the Mega Tape overlapping, plus you've got a tab, a banner up, 2 layers of that. And then for that, I recommend that's where you will take a grommet and sandwich that whole thing together with a grommet. Now you got something that literally will stand up to hurricane force winds. We have videos on our website where we made a banner that way and it withstood over 100-mile-an-hour winds, up to 108 miles an hour. It's unbelievable. I was we tested this at a university wind tunnel, and when that thing broke, I swear, it sounded like the building was coming down. There was so much force behind it. Now,
I wish I could have been standing behind it just to see it and feel it.
108 miles an hour.
That'd been awesome.
It actually, I kid you not, it cracked the glass, the reinforced glass. It was flopping back and forth so hard it cracked the glass in the wind tunnel. And fortunately, we're a good customer and they didn't charge us for it. But it would have been thousands of dollars to have that replaced. So yeah, it was amazing. Now, you're not going to get a return if the banner comes back in 104 mile an hour winds and it tore it down, right? But the main thing is when you get gusts of 40, 50, 60 mile an hour, it's going to work. It's going to hold up. So
yeah. I mean, I was in Iowa. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago when they had that windstorm and everything was gone. I mean, you're talking like pan faces off building style gone, just everything blown away.
Right.
And that would be the benefit. The other thing we've seen, and I'll ask you on this one. So it seems like more with the banner tape and the tabs, people are less likely to have to like punch the banners like they did historically. So we're talking like puncture the middle of the banner to reduce wind. Are you seeing that less when they're doing that? Or are they still doing it?
I see it less overall. And whenever I talk to someone, I always tell them, do not cut wind slits in a banner. You actually weaken the banner and you actually don't make it any less resistant to wind. If you really want to reduce the wind, the way to go is with a mesh, right? You want to use mesh. You don't want to cut wind slits. They look terrible, and they actually weaken it because it's more likely to tear in one of those wind slits. So, yeah, that's gone. Don't do it. If you're doing it, stop doing it right away. Just switch to banner ups.
There you go.
I could mention some names I've seen do it and doing it by hand too, like making all the U's, like, and then look at them like, what are you doing? Oh, so the wind go through. No, you're creating a spot for it to rip.
Right, exactly.
Like you're clearly creating a spot for it to rip. Multiple spots for it to rip now.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered banner tape and banner tabs. So if you're not using them, use them. We've been suggesting them for a long time now. So if you haven't tried them, you should at least try them and see what we're talking about. We can give you one of those test tabs too, so you can try it yourself and rip on it and see how much easier the grommet pulls out than the tabs. So,
or by this time, it'll be time to. Is this before or after open house?
It'll be during.
This will be 5 weeks from now. Will be like the middle of the open houses. It'll be either the first week or the.
So come to the open houses if you're hearing it, and there's still open houses. We'll have banner tape, that stuff at the open houses too. So
absolutely.
But anyways, there's some new products that we just brought on from you guys, and you're holding it in your hand. So
I'm holding it in my hand.
I'll let you do the intro.
Yeah. So a lot of times people will come to us and say, "Oh, that's great. You got the banner finished, but how do I hang the banner?" And so normally we give them an answer like, "Get some rope."
Maybe a zip tie.
But we decided, what if we could actually provide a better solution? So we came out with this system called Easy Mag. And so what it is, I'm going to put it up here in front, so I hope it's visible.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. And this is basically a magnetic standoff system where you have this, you can see a magnet, a very strong magnet that has a standoff attached to it that screws on, right? So now you put that through the hole or the grommet. You could certainly work with grommets or anything. And then you can easily stick that magnet system to any magnetic surface, right? So now you can put it anywhere in a warehouse, a metal building, a garage door, anything like that. Instantly, you don't need any ropes. Fast, easy, reusable. And so if you think about it a minute, then you're going to say, well, yeah, but there's lots of non-metal surfaces that I want to stick things to, or I want to put a banner up, like cinder block or wood or plastic or something like that. So included in this kit is a metal plate. So it's an oval metal plate, about roughly 1 inch by 2 inches or so. And, of course, a magnet will stick to that. And then we also include in the kit adhesive tabs, right? Now, just show that on the video. So you get this little strip of adhesive tabs that are shaped exactly the same size as the plate. So you put one of the adhesive tacky pads onto the metal plate, and then you affix that metal plate to drywall or to cinder block, anything like that. Now you have a magnetic surface anywhere. Aluminum, that's another one. So aluminum pop-up stands that people use for the little craft festivals and that. You want to put a banner on that, stick one of the metal pads to that, and now and you can hear it's just an extremely strong magnet. So good for indoor, good for outdoor. We have a large size and a smaller size. So it's just a great solution for how to put up a banner anywhere very quickly and easy. It's called Easy Mag, and Wensco is our premier distributor on this. And so they've got them in stock, and we'll be showing those at the open houses, but also they have, and we have videos on it. So yeah, great solution, very reasonably priced. So easy to sell to a customer and resell, so that now your customer can easily have a way to hang up the banner. So
yeah, you should be selling them with your banners when they're doing this. It's so simple, so easy. I mean, when Rick came to me, I'm like, it's gonna sell. It's a matter of people knowing what it is and getting the word out there, because to put up a banner, like you said, on those little easy tents or whatever, is seconds versus trying to tie it. And most of them, and I don't want to call out everybody, but if you haven't been in the military or the Navy, you can't figure out how to tie a knot to save your life. So then, you're trying to figure out how you're going to tie this banner tight. Tyler's laughing because he can't tie nothing. Nope. So if you haven't been if you're not familiar with knots, you never get your banner tight. It's always drooping at those shows. Go through, next time you're at a flea market or something, go through, look at everybody's banners. They're all drooping. This is simple. You just get to the edges, put it up, put your tab on, put your little sticker on, put it on the magnet, and even your magnet has room to slide it if you need it a little bit tighter. It's just simple. So when you're selling a banner to those people, sell them the same system, and they're gonna have a lot easier putting it up, and your banner's gonna look a lot better too, than versus them trying to tie a knot or trying to tie it around the warehouse. It just works. It's so simple. It's just a matter of getting the word out.
If you're selling them to people that are the one I think of is you just talk about flea market type stuff, where they're finding a way to fix them to the front of the tables, basically. So they're like a front table drop. Mm-hmm. That it's so easy, because you're just going to stick the adhesives on the edges of the table, put the magnets on, and then screw your banner on from the front.
Exactly.
So especially if they're doing the same stand every week.
If you're doing multiple shows, you don't have to tie it every week. You just put it back up.
It on.
Right. Pull it off, put it on. And the other thing is, if you use a table drape, you can put the magnetic material under the table drape on the table itself. So then you throw the table drape over the top of the table, and the banner mysteriously sticks to this table, because you can't see the metal plates or anything. It looks great. And again, you could do that the same with the tent. You could put the magnets underneath the little vinyl, what do you call it, drape around the top, maybe 6-inch drape. You put it under that, and the magnets are strong enough that they're more than going to hold to that. And then when you're ready to take it down, it's super simple. And, the nice thing, it just comes in a kit. Wensco is stocking this in just a convenient little kit, right? And it's got everything right in there. And you use it once, but then you can use it over and over again. And so, yeah, great. It's a great system, and it just makes it so easy.
Yeah, like I said, if you're not using it, you should buy one, and I guarantee you're going to buy more. Just get one. See how it goes up, give it to your customer, that you'll buy more. It's so simple.
So we're just thinking about where there's not a ton of applications where it wouldn't be a better solution. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is if you're putting it on a chain link fence, you're probably going to struggle to find a spot to put, aluminum one, obviously. You're going to struggle to find a spot to stick the adhesive on. But besides that application, if it's going on a wall, a table, a tent, or in a warehouse, we have them for the open house, it's the perfect solution for it. It's easy. If it sticks magnetically, even better. If it doesn't, there's a solution for that too. So.
Yeah. How many times have we put up banners at the open house, and you had to come get someone like me to tie the knot so it's actually tight enough where it's drooping so bad you can't read it?
Well, usually we just tape them up there.
And we tape them up there. We zip tie them up there. This is just so much easier. And especially if you're in a warehouse, you have, if you're putting banners up in your warehouse, which a lot of people do, all your racking's metal. It is so fast. Yeah. You don't need the tabs. You don't need anything. They stick right to your metal racking. And then when you're done, you just pull the tabs and they're come down.
Yeah. Right. Or if you're putting them on the rafters, which a lot of people will do too, they'll hang them down from the rafters in their building. Those are typically.
Those are metal too, usually.
Yeah.
safety banners that are going into factories, banners that are going outside a retail store, like McDonald's or Wendy's or something that's by somewhere, in the ordering area.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Perfect for that. So these are great, and we're so happy to introduce them and glad that you guys have them. We're ready to take orders. So your customers should come. If you want to see it in person, come to the shows. But it's certainly all on the website, and there's videos so you can see how it works.
Perfect. Do you guys have anything else new coming out?
We do have some other things. I think the main thing that I would circle back to where we started about how we, had a business for many years all around adhesives, and then we were acquired by Budnick Converting. Budnick's strength is in tapes, okay? And there are a lot of tapes that are used in the sign industry, but there's not a lot of knowledge in the industry. So, for instance, you might be using some 3M VHB product. It's got a number associated, 5952 or 4950, but you really don't know what that number means. You don't know why you're using it. You just know that it was called out on a spec, or it's always been on our shelf. That's what we use. And sometimes it works great, and maybe even it fails sometimes. You don't know why, right? And so Budnick has all the knowledge that can do that, and we bring that to Wensco. And so we can be a resource for Wensco and for your customers on how to pick the right product for the right application. So we carry 3M tape. We're a platinum distributor for 3M for Tessa, and then we've got a number of different other coaters that supply us with materials. So what we try to do is look at the application and say, what are you trying to stick to? What's the application? What's the right tape? Sometimes you might want to move up or down in terms of the quality of the tape or the cost of the tape, right? If you have a tape that's working great, you use a lot of it, and the cost is really high, we could help you find something that would be good enough for that application, less expensive. On the other hand, if you're using a tape and you're getting failures, then we could help you bump up to a better quality tape. And so right sizing. Unfortunately, that knowledge is very rare in the sign industry. Most of the distributors, most of the manufacturers don't really support the sign industry the way we think that they should. So that's what we're trying to bring as Budnick to the industry. We want to be the sign supplier to the industry, and or the tape supplier rather to the sign industry. So we're a resource. We're a resource for Wensco. We're a resource for the customers that are watching this. If you've got applications, bring them to Wensco, and they can bring them to us, and we'll support you.
Yeah, we were just talking before this, like Tyler and I, we know the numbers of the tape. We know 4950, we need 9472. We don't always know why you would buy one over the other. I mean, I know the difference between 9472 and 4950, but there's 4950, 4952. There's 49. There's all kinds of numbers. Like, we sell the numbers, but could we intelligently talk about it right now? Kinda.
Yeah, I could look it up on the website and read the spec sheet to you, and that's about it. And I could tell you what color the tape is supposed to be.
And we sell a lot of tape.
One's brown and one's red. And they come in different widths. That's about as far as I make it. No, obviously a little more than that. But yeah, no, that we had a meeting with 3M tape at some point, and it was kind of that conversation where it was, we support the industrial side of the business. We don't do a lot in the sign industry, and the graphics reps don't, like, that's not even in their portfolio at all. Like, they're not talking about it because they don't get paid to talk about it. So why would they talk about it? And the tape they don't come into the sign side of the business. They're only talking industrial. So we kind of have access to the product, but simultaneously don't have the support on the product, which, it puts us in a weird spot.
3M's great company. They're one of our largest suppliers. But sometimes when you talk to them, you're gonna get like the engineering aspect of it, right? So we're the translators. We're the ones who can take all of this whole world of tape, simplify it down, and go to you and say, hey, what are you using? We can convert that into simple language that you can understand as to what's the right product for you. Budnick sells in all these high-end markets. They sell to aerospace, automotive, appliance, general industrial. So we have all that technical background, but then we've got myself and Nick Helfrich that basically can interpret that to the sign makers, because we know the sign market, right? And so that's what we're bringing. We're very successful at it so far, and we're looking to grow, and we're 100% on board. So no customer who comes to Wensco and has a question about tape, small or large opportunity, we're going to try and help them out because that's our specialty and we love doing it.
Well, perfect. Well, if you have questions on tape or converting tape, you can reach out to us or reach out to Rick and we'll get you exactly what you need because obviously we don't have the answers for that one, but Rick will get them for you. So
don't we just make them up though sometimes?
Yeah.
It'll stick. It's tape. It sticks.
Yeah. Except it doesn't.
Except sometimes it doesn't.
If you've taken any of our wrap classes from last year, we had the stinking projector screen fall, I don't know, 50% of the time. So obviously the VHB tape from foam core to aluminum doesn't work all the time. So it works.
Yeah,
it usually works day one. It usually works day one, just doesn't work day two. So if you need it longer than 8 hours, there might be a different product for that. So Rick probably knows the answer.
Yeah, we'll have one that screen will be hanging up and still strong 800 years from now.
Okay, good. We'll have that projector screen forever. It'll be really in the way for everyone else, but
we'll get it done.
It'll be there for next year.
Yep.
So, well, perfect. You brought a whole thing. Is there anything else that you brought that we didn't talk about, or?
Yeah, if there's time, one little thing that's just super cool that I want to show you. Okay, so we have a new product line that's in the pipeline, but I'm excited about it. I want to show it. It's called Bond and Detach. Bond and Detach. So you might have seen this in the store, something like the 3M sells command strips. So it's something where you want something to really stick, but then you want to be able to remove it. And the problem is when you try and pull tape off, it's meant to stick. So how do you get it not to stick? So the idea here is this is a Lumicore, aluminum core type product and acrylic, and they're stuck together. And if you're watching on the video, you can see that it's got a piece of tape in there, but magically, when you want to remove it, you just pull that tape down from the bottom. I'm going to try and do it so that you can see it without shooting a slingshot. But as you pull it, the tape stretches, and it eventually comes out, and then magically, these two things that were permanently stuck together are now separate, right? So so you can stick something to a wall or a window. It's going to hold, it's strong, but when you're ready to take it down, it comes off without leaving any residue, without damaging the surface. We're just in the process of, as I say, getting this through. The difference between, this, with the command strips or 3M products, you have to buy those pretty much retail. There's no wholesale way to buy it. So these will be in a wholesale pack, a little bit more tailored towards the sign industry. Again, it's not quite ready, but we're moving that direction. We hope to have it by the end of this year or maybe sooner. And we're real excited about it. So I'd just love to hear your impressions of it. If you guys like it, and customers, if they like it and think there's an application, that's going to help us move this along faster.
Well, I do think there's an application for it. I mean, I think of how many command strips I have in my drawer at my house right now, like that we use. Like, there's probably some in this room right here. So
probably.
And yeah. Like I said, that's more for like mom that wants to hang something. Than this is more for
industrial type.
Absolutely. Instead
and
of buying, because otherwise you got to buy.
It seems like the demo that you just showed us. So for those of you that were on audio, it worked just like a command strip, right? There was two sheets stuck together and he pulled the tab and it released. That demo seems like the most likely demo to fail out of all of them because it's in between the two sheets. So if any adhesive stays in there, you're not gonna be able to get it out. So I feel like for him to do it live and it just work, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it should work then. I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah, it would have been a serious fail if that would have failed.
I was a little nervous, but I've done it before. It worked before. I figured there was no reason to not to. So it worked out great. And no, so that's that. We're always coming up with new products. So if there's one, faster, easier, stronger. That's our mantra. That's what we live by. Faster, easier, stronger. And so we always are looking for new products, new solutions to save time and make it simpler.
Okay, for some of those people that are on video, this is what I think. I've been to Budnick. I've looked at it. This is what you guys do.
This is what we do.
This is like the fact that these are probably all the same. They die cut this out. They put them on the tab so they're easy to pull off. Like this is what Budnick does very, very well.
Exactly.
Like converting stuff, whether it's converting it into a regular roll or converting it this way, or even converting it into those little strips. That's what Budnick does very, very well.
Absolutely.
Better than probably anybody.
Thanks for bringing that out, Mike. I appreciate it. You were at our facility. You've seen it. It's a beautiful plant. So as you see the transition, originally Banner Ups, it's just a sign and banner related product. But now that we're a part of Budnick's world, die cutting, tape converting, it just opens up a whole new world. So our vision is hopefully to become the converting and the tape supplier to the sign industry. And I think there's a gap there because nobody is really focused on it. And we want to focus. And when we do, it's tremendously successful. It's good for the customers, first of all. It's good for the distributors. And it's the area where our business is growing most strongly.
Well, I guess before we go to the outro, I guess when you say that, one last question of mine, is there any I'm sure you're dealing with some big customers that are converting something very specific. Is there anything in that realm that would be relative to the sign shop? All I can think of, like on vinyl side, right? We have companies that do like striping. So people that have kind of been doing that by hand and then find out that, hey, there's a company that will just stripe it to the exact spec that I need for
and
me.
mask it.
Yeah, the whole thing will just show up done and I don't have to do it by hand. Is there anything on the tape side of things that you're seeing with that?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tyler. I would say, of course, we do lots of custom converting in high volume. Most of it would be too high a volume that you would normally see in the sign business, right? Millions of parts or that kind of thing. But I would say that probably the most common thing that would fit would be, we talked about, 3M tape. Okay. So 3M VHB, you're used to having it on rolls. And if you're going to use 5 or 10 pieces and you're putting together a kiosk or something like that, okay, great. That's fine. But what if you get a job where you have to have, you're making 500 signs or 1,000 signs, it's a high volume of signs and you need to have 4 to 6 pieces on each one, right? Now you're talking 10,000 pieces that you need, right? What we can do, Mike, as you mentioned, we can custom cut those so that they're already pre-cut in the 1.5 by 3/4 inch, whatever it is. We'll cut it right to the size. Again, that's going to save you days of getting that out because now you're not snipping tape. You're just peel stick.
Yeah, you can make it look, if you're watching on video, they can make it look like this. Like if that's the size you want,
right,
they can cut it to this size,
right,
and almost deliver it this way.
Right.
Like I saw it in your thing where I don't know what the customer was and probably couldn't say what, but they had different shapes they needed and you were cutting different shapes.
Any shape.
So this shape had to go on a specific item that was going on a specific shelf and they were literally, you were cutting thousands of a very specific shape of VHB tape.
Absolutely. So we could cut any shape, but for a rectangle is going to be, or a circle or something like that is perfect for most sign and graphic applications. And it's not hard. And the other thing, just to get like the technical weeds, the fact that we do this all the time, we have equipment that's so sophisticated that we can take this and not just cut out the shape and then weed the rest of the VHB out because VHB is expensive, right? So we have equipment that can just cut individual pieces and forward 1/8 of an inch so you're not losing any tape. Technical weeds, right? What it means for the customer, it means that it's not going to cost them a lot more. We're not throwing away a lot of VHB. That's capability that we have that a lot of people don't have. So long way of saying, if there were people in the sign industry who knew that they don't even know it's possible, right? And before we entered this market, it really wasn't possible. But now we're in the market. Budnick and Banner Ups are leading in this market. So yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, if the customers have large scale places where they're cutting pieces of tape, and by that I'm talking thousands, 1,000, not a high number, but 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. It's very possible for people to have that that are producing graphics, graphics houses, digital print houses. And so we can supply that.
Perfect. Yeah, I figured there has to be some solution. I was like, I can't think of what it is, right? I'm not out there making signs, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, that's exactly what I needed this whole time. So hopefully that was you, in which case reach out and we'll get you in touch with somebody who can cut it for you and you don't have to keep cutting it by hand because it's not the most fun thing to cut in the world either. If you cut it wrong, it's not great all the time. So, but I mean, that really was all the questions I had for you. So thanks for coming out. The last thing we always ask is, what do you think sets you apart from your competitors in the market?
I would say our just laser focus on this banner application. I mean, we really don't have any competitors that do what we do, right? That has these unique solutions. So we just compete against what we think are less good ways of doing it, right? So I think the laser focus on the banner application, and then beyond that, I would say the knowledge of the tape industry, adhesives and tape. It's huge in the sign market, but no one has really focused on it in the past. So I'd say those are the two things that separate us.
Perfect. I mean, that was all I had. So thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. I know it's not the shortest trip for you, so appreciate you coming out and being on the podcast. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Do you have anything else to add? You're looking at me like...
No, it's all good. I was thinking what sets us apart. It's probably me. What sets this podcast apart from every other sign podcast?
That we have a sign podcast. I think there's only 3 of them. So,
yeah. Well, we're number 1.
Yeah, probably. I hope so. If you vote us number 1, please comment on this.
Yeah.
And if it's not because of the guy sitting across from me here, make sure you comment that as well, so we can get some appreciation over here. So, but seriously, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, hitting YouTube partner was awesome. So we appreciate it. We're going to keep putting out as many videos as we can. So thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, everybody.